Right, Kia. Now, let me begin by saying that this vehicle has got the oddest steering sensation I've ever had in a vehicle. The only way I can describe it is that as you go along and turn, even moderately, the vehicle feels like it's steering from the back wheels. In fact, it feels like it's steering from the back wheels so much that in a moment I'm going to have to pull over and check just to make sure it's not. It can't be warm bushes because this vehicle is not even 5,000 miles. Not 60. I'll abandon that. Okay, we're going to start that review again. Okay, starting now. 3, 2, 1, 0. This Kia is a very unusual car. It's unusual because of a steering sensation. When I steer this vehicle even moderately, the vehicle feels like it's steering from the back wheels as well. So much so that I'm actually going to have to get out of the vehicle in a minute and check. So if this vehicle does have rear wheel steering, I do apologise for being uninformed. But it can't be worn bushes in the back because the car hasn't done 5,000 miles, and I doubt very much it's got rear wheel steering, but that is exactly how it feels when it drives along. It feels like when you turn the steering wheel, it feels like the car is actually travelling sideways. It's very, very odd. Now this vehicle's pretty cool, to be fair. I mean, it's very basic. It looks like it's a bit of an Airfix model, but it's got a lot of good things going for it. To start, the side mirrors are enormous, and I love side mirrors that are enormous. It means you can see a lot more that's going on. It's nothing worse than peering into a left or a right wing mirror, and you can just about see as much as you would looking out of a woman's compact in a makeup bag. The instrument cluster, not quite obstructed by the top of the steering wheel, but I can see at times it's going to be. It's very easy to read as you're driving along. There's no confusing dials. The center console I think is quite attractive. It's also very basic and easily laid out. I can see what's there. Bish bosh, no messing around. It's all very clear. It's also a nice illuminated red. The dashboard does look a little bit plasticky and basic, but they get away with it, to be quite fair. It's not too bad. This is the 6-speed manual, and it's certainly going to need that 6th gear, as so many cars do. The 6th gear is just such a brilliant addition to a vehicle. Now the rear view vision is pretty good actually. I can't say the rear view vision is obstructed by the steering wheel, by the headrest in any way at all. Steering on this vehicle, my word, I've never had a car quite like it. It's odd. And also, not only does it turn funny, it rolls around all over the place. It's frightening. I would not want to be in this car and have to do an emergency swerve. It's too compliant. It's almost boating, and it rolls all over the place. This weird articulated feeling, as I say, the back end feels like it's steering. It's odd, very odd. But the actual initial steering itself is responsive, but why the hell does the back roll around so much, I don't know. It's almost like this car's got some kind of defect. It's very odd indeed. Take one for a test drive if you're thinking about buying one of these. You'll know exactly what I mean. And ask yourself this question while you're driving along the road at 60 miles an hour like I'm doing now. Would you feel safe with 4 people in this vehicle? I know I wouldn't. Now back to the interior of the vehicle. The seats, well, to be honest, they're looking a bit bland, looking a bit drab. I think this car could really benefit with a firework up the arse. It's just too boring. Apart from the steering oddities that I pointed out, this car is just boring me to death. It's not the performance, it's not the acceleration, it's the interior. It's like sitting in the middle of a librarian's nightmare. But from a perspective of day-to-day running, going to the shop, dropping the kids off, you know, it ticks all the boxes in that department. It's certainly not a quiet, certainly not a noisy car. You The only noise I can hear right now, I can't really hear the engine, I can just hear the wind coming off the windows. It's a cheap package this. It does what it says on the tin, but I think personally it's got some safety issues with the steering. The steering feels substandard, and it feels like it's in a zone which could be dangerous to its performance. The only way you're going to really grasp this is to take one for a test drive. So I'm glad I've done this review, because anybody thinking about buying one of these, take one for a test drive. You won't have to go fast, 30 miles an hour, and just start doing little steering exercises like this, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Very odd car, very odd indeed.